Sorry, now me supplements. Morning, YouTube. So, it's been a while. It's been a very, very long while. Hey, that. Since, why can't I do anything normal? Since I've done a YouTube video. And, been a reason for that. And mainly down to the fact that the camera that I've got, or the camera that I had previously, were just too big. And to vlog, I don't have anyone right now, really, that could walk around with me most of the time and then vlog my day. Yeah, the camera's a little bit too big, but we made an investment, we made a little purchase, and we've got this little mini thing. Tracks my face. And it follows me. It's like a little vlogger behind the camera. I mean, a little, you know what I mean, little videographer behind the camera. But yeah, this is a good investment for me to be able to start vlogging, to be able to start creating more content. And putting it out on YouTube. So it's been a while since I've done this, and like I said, I'm not going to be the greatest right now. It's been a while. I'm not going to be firing. So I do need to get used to this again. I do need to get used to talking to the camera in a longer format and just, yeah, being myself on camera, I guess. But it will come. It will come with time. But right now, what we're doing, we're having some HydroFlow, taking our morning supplements. That is pretty much the routine every single morning. HydroFlow. Great for hydration, obviously making sure that you're staying hydrated. And the best time to be able to take it, in my opinion, is going to be in the morning when you're mostly hydrated, obviously after being asleep. So I just take this alongside the supplements that I take, which is all the internal stuff to keep me nice and healthy. Whilst I am obviously pushing body weight up and obviously on cycle at the moment. I've just cut everything back because there's going to be a sort of maintenance period over the next 4 weeks. But for those who didn't know, yes, I do take performance enhancing drugs. And for those who are shocked, I know. But yeah, no, we're pulling back a little bit over the next 4 weeks to sort of hit a maintenance period. Food's still going to be really high because I've not kind of explained what's going on with food yet, but I will do later in the video. But yeah, food is pretty high at the moment. I'm probably at one of my heaviest body weights. Not necessarily my heaviest, but I'm definitely not looking the fattest, which is good. But yeah, we start prepping at around 4 weeks time. So 4 weeks to resensitize, try and keep this food as high as possible and have a good time in the process. Morning HydroFlow is done, onto the coffee. So this again is what we do every morning. A little bit of sugar-free syrup, 1 to 2 coffees before we set off in the morning, set off to the gym. Because for those who didn't know, I still do a little bit of one-to-one PT. So we do some of that in the morning, and then we generally have like maybe 1 in the evening. But for the most part now, we are trying to build up an online client base. Not where I want to be just yet, but you're never really going to get to where you want to be because there's always going to be another level. There's always going to be something else that you can reach and a new sort of target that I want to hit. And yeah, the target that I've got right now, it's doable, very doable. And I'm hoping to hit it very soon. But yeah, I'm gonna make this coffee, get the coffee down there, but I want to explain pretty much what's been going on at the moment and obviously what I've been like whilst I've been away from YouTube. Now if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know generally what I'm doing right now, which is obviously bulking. And I've gone from, I'm 196 pounds as of this morning. Now, the heaviest I was around 205. Before we did a little pullback, we did a mini cut, stripped off the weight because I became a little bit fat, got a little bit fat, and then we stepped straight back into a gaining phase. Just with the goal of increasing body weight, improving the amount of food that we're eating, and putting ourselves in a good position to be able to prep, because you need to be able to start off in a good position food-wise with prep. Otherwise, if the food is too low, food will, to begin with, food is probably going to have to get really low on prep. And ideally, we don't want that to happen. So we want to keep food nice and high for the most part, like I said, over these next 4 weeks. And then when we do start prep in 4 weeks time, that is when food is obviously going to get pulled back. But the main thing right now has obviously been keeping food nice and high, but it's maintaining routine, it's keeping a routine. So the one thing that people tend to fuck up with before a prep is, the one thing that people tend to fuck up with a prep is they utilise the last few weeks as a time to fuck off everything. Lose the routine, eat whatever the fucking food they want because they realise how much of a struggle it's probably going to be in terms of the amount of rigidness you're going to have to go through. So yeah, they just fuck it off. And then the issue with that is you're losing your routine. Let me just take this for a second. Get the brain juices flowing. You just struggle to adjust the prep, and then you find prep a lot harder, especially in the beginning. So the goal, especially for my prep this year, is just pretty much start the prep, but it not even feel like I'm starting anything because I'm already in a very good routine. So yeah, that is going to be the goal. Where have I gone? There we go. Yeah, that's going to be the goal, step into prep. I just want to make sure I'm in the best possible position to actually start a prep and it not feel like too much of a fucking slog. So yeah, routine's pretty much been nailed. Tash is on a mini cut right now, so there's actually there's pretty much no off-plan meals because Tash ain't having them, so I'm not having them. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you don't have to do that, it's just out of choice.
Well, no, it's going to be like when I'm on prep. When I'm on prep, you're not going to want to have any off-plan meals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? You might do.
But... No, I will when I'm back in a growing phase.
Yeah.
But I just, from previous experience, like, I did have a couple at the start, but for me, I just want to get this mini cut boxed off as efficiently as possible. Even though I can easily fit in an off-plan meal to my calories, it does mess with my hunger a lot on that specific day, adjusting it. I'm used to eating frequent and often, so if I have to pull back massively to fit in like a 1,000-calorie meal, it just makes the process a lot more harder for me on that day.
Yeah.
And I've actually got to the point now where your taste buds are a bit more sensitive, so I could sit here and have like salmon and rice with some veg and it would taste amazing. Or just have a yogurt bowl and it's fantastic. So
that's when you know you're dieting. That's when you know you're dieting.
But like Tom said, I've just finished. It was a 23-week push, including like my post-show recovery. So obviously there was a large stint of that where I was just getting over being like stage lean and getting healthy again. But I definitely took the freedom that comes with a building phase and ran with it slightly. And
the thing is, we both did.
Yeah.
We both did. I became a bit of a fat gun.
I also apologise for my morning look right now.
She's fucking beautiful.
Oh, stop it.
I'll say that on camera.
I was just a bit dead at this time before I've eaten anything.
She's only had one coffee. Normally after 2 coffees, she's a little bit more.
And a bagel thin.
And a bagel thing, yeah. Plus, she's very low on food right now.
Yeah, that's where there's a fine line, isn't it? Like, yes, you're in a growing phase, but if you have a bit too much freedom and flexibility,
you just take your surplus to your
back into a mini cut, especially if you're competing. You need to be careful about body comp and body weight, not letting it go too far in the opposite direction. Yeah, because
at the end of the day, when you're competing, you want your gaining phase to be productive. Yeah. You want it to be as long as you physically can get it to last, to be able to build as much muscle as possible.
So I've learnt my lesson last time.
I learnt my lesson long ago, but I still became a bit of a fat guy on the last one.
I've never had a dirty bulk before.
Never?
My first one was like 7 months long and I gained like 6 or 7 kilos. But then I wasn't fucking dealing with, excuse my French, I wasn't dealing with the post-show and how lean I was and the hunger I experienced. So.
Yeah, I think I've done a dirty bulk in the past. I think that was the main thing for a lad. Any lad. Anyone who's watching this, you've probably done a dirty bulk. Unless you're a female, then you might not have. But if you're a guy, you've probably done a dirty bulk. But in terms of like this time round, after the show, after I competed, I just went, not on a bit of a mad one, but there were just a lot more flexibility because I feel like I wanted that flexibility, so I allowed myself to have it. So if I wanted 2 off plans in a week, I would get 2 off plans in a week, and then I'd kind of do an if it fits your macros approach for the rest of the week. So I'd have different food sources, different like pastas, potatoes, rice, and I think sometimes there's merit to just keeping things consistent, which is why this time, this push up, and conveniently I look a lot leaner. That fucking spot is massive.
But that's the most important thing. Like, every action has a consequence. So if you've got to a position,
it makes me a fat cunt if I do it all the time.
If you get to a position where things aren't optimal, ideal anymore, just take responsibility for it because it's what you want at the time. Like, I can't be mad at how it went because it's exactly what I wanted.
Oh, I'm not mad that I became a fat cunt. I enjoyed every meal out that we had.
Yeah, same.
I enjoyed every meal that I ate.
Every cookie pie slice.
Every cookie pie slice that I had. And if you're not familiar with a cookie pie slice and you're from Leeds, get yourself to Get Baked and get a cookie pie slice. It's fucking unreal. Oh my god. Serial killer. But yeah, no, when it comes to like our gaining phases now, I've just realised that my digestion's better, I feel better, energy's there. Yeah, I feel a little bit tired here and there, but that's just down to the amount of food that I'm having. But in terms of like overall productivity, and I'm not going to say productivity because it's shit right now, because just when you're eating so much food, it just goes to shit. That's why I can't wait for prep to start. But in terms of like overall energy and how I feel day to day mentally, yeah, it's the best I've felt, because I'm just not slamming a bunch of shit food, and yeah, I'm gonna say shit food, because there is quality food and there is not quality food. There's food that has been processed, extra processed, or ultra processed food, shall I say. So yeah, there is an element of, if you eat shit foods, you will feel like shit and you will probably put on more body fat than you want to, because you can't control that food. And this is where I'm talking about takeaways. I'm not talking about things you can make at home. Generally, even if you follow an if it fits your macros approach, put your weight and everything out, and you've got control of the food, you will probably not eat in a massive surplus. But if you're eating out all the time and you're tracking on MyFitnessPal and thinking, wait, I saved so many calories for this, why am I still gaining weight quite dramatically? Because I've done this 4 times this week and it's not working. It's because the actual things that you track on MyFitnessPal are not going to be as accurate as you think. There's generally like a 40% difference. So yeah, bit of a tangent over, but gaining phases are better to be done in a more structured way, not bulking, not like a dirty bulk. And yeah, just keep things as clean as you possibly can. In certain circumstances, scenarios, family scenarios, I get why you can't, but even then, it's just switching up the narrative and just starting to enjoy good food that you can cook at home. The weather's not meant to be great today.
Can you just turn around and look?
Oh, well, it's shit weather, isn't it?
Well, that's what I'm asking, I can't turn around.
Oh yeah, it's shit. No, well, it's not shit, it's not raining. It's cloudy. It's not meant to be great for the next few days. But when we go to Cornwall next week, it's going to be alright. Coffee number 2.
You're gonna get off your rocker.
That's the plan. Get me off my tits. I'm going to be off my tits. A bit of caffeine. And a bit of nicotine gum as well. I'm going to keep my just.
You use nicotine?
What? I use nicotine? No. Nicotine? Me? Definitely not. Look, it's just a bit of gum. Right. Nicotine gum helps with productivity. I want to get that out there. Yeah? I'm not an addict. Just to let you know. I do not smoke. I do not smoke vapes. I did on prep, but not anymore. But nicotine helps with productivity, so that's what we're going to go with. And so does caffeine, so we're going to get this down. As long as you've got like a leg press or pendulum in, I'm alright.
I know you like this one.
Do I?
It has got split squat, so. Standing calf raise.
I like it all, minus that.
Standing calf raise first, adductor, leg curl, pendulum, 45-degree leg press, split squats, leg extensions.
Very nice. Oh, the video? Yeah, banging. Really good. Get it going into your actress era. So we're back. We're going. Stay hydrated, my people. So we're back. It's going to be the first meal of the day. What time is it now? I'm fucking starving. See this belly? I'm getting skinny already. All right. So we're going to be going and having my typical meal 1. That's very inappropriate. So the first meal of the day is going to be what it is pretty much every single day. 2 bagels, 5 chicken sausages, and 3 eggs.
5?
Yeah, I go 5. What are you trying to say? Are you calling me a fatty? But yeah, we're going to be going 5 chicken sausages, 3 eggs, 2 bagels. That's literally been the breakfast for, well, it's fucking ages. I've got my audience watching here.
Sorry.
I mean, my audience of 3 people. So yeah, it's been on meal 1 for ages. But we are going to be training soon, so I need to scran this kit down me. And then we're going to be having, get it done me.
Sweet.
And then we're going to, what in the fuck is going on? Why can I never go on an actual, just a talk of speaking sense for at least 30 seconds before it gets fucking interrupted by my brain? Then we're going to go on to cream of rice. That's going to be the pre-meal. But ideally, I just want to get this down, be nice and quick, get it digested. And then the cream of rice meal will just go down a treat anyway, as it always does. By the way, if you are someone that is shit at making eggs, like absolutely diabolical, fried, poached, scrambled, you can't really go wrong with scrambled, but I like a poached egg. Huh?
How can you mess up a fried egg?
Have you?
Well, I know.
I know you can. I know you can, 'cause you're a fucking idiot. Alright. Look, you insinuated that. Let's be real. Let's be real. Right, so yeah, so what you want to do, you want to get on Amazon, you want to buy some of these little cups. Yeah, these little things right here, game changer. You crack the egg into these little pods. Get the eggs out. You crack your eggs into these little pods. You make sure that you've got boiling water, so I'm better off turning on the hob. That was an evil laugh, that. Fucking evil. And then yeah, you just put them in the water, get a lid over the top of the pan. Give it 5 to 10 minutes. I like to make sure the water's fucking boiling. And then I'll get the eggs out and then pretty much bang on every time.
Oh,
she's absolute.
show my party trick.
Oh, she's going to show a party trick. Right, she showed me this yesterday. You're going to be thoroughly impressed.
Oh God, it's very full.
Have you got down your top?
Oh no.
Just an excuse to touch your boobs, to be honest. Oh, it's heavy that.
I know,
heavy that.
it's too heavy.
You need something else. Go on, you can't let the people down.
Okay, wait.
You can't let the people down.
I still need something impressive though. Why is there empty milk in the fridge? They're both empty. Right.
Why have you put empty milk in the fridge?
I don't drink milk at the minute.
Right, let's get a fucking set done.
Hey yo, bullet. That's emotional still.
So what I did there, my top set rep range was 10 to 12, but I felt like I got to the 12th rep and I had more to give, so I got 13. So just a reminder that if you are working within a set rep range in your training program, don't limit yourself to just getting those reps. Sorry, tickle in my throat. Don't limit yourself to just getting those reps. If you feel like you've got more in the tank, then push it. And if you go beyond that rep range, then that gives you a good indication of how much you need to adjust the load for next time.
That's that one done.
Hey yo, bullet.
So Tash has gone over to do split squats and I've come onto the leg extension. I've got a few work bits that I need to get done. So I'm gonna do the rest of the session by myself, meaning just leg extensions, because I've got 10 minutes to get it fucking done. And if I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather choose to do the leg extensions than a fucking split squat. If you know about split squats, which you do, if you're watching the channel, you know about split squats. Anyone that I know would choose a set of leg extensions. No, you know what? 3 sets of leg extensions over fucking 2 sets of split squats. Any fucking day. But anyway, let's get to this bitch. 49. Jones in the morning. No one puts on 7-4. Dead set. So when it comes to the prime piece of kit, just to throw a couple of knowledge bombs in there as well. Differences with a piece of prime kit compared to a normal kit is, or normal piece of kit is, they've got different resistance profiles and different ways to adjust where the resistance is going to be most. So generally 2 and 4 is going to be the top ranges. 4 is going to be mid to top, and then 1 is kind of neutral, so it's pretty much going to be similar resistance throughout. 5 is mid to lengthened, so lengthened, muscles lengthening. 3 is purely going to be lengthened, so that essentially means that it's going to be difficult in different portions of the movement. So I tend to put it on, if I'm doing 3 sets, I'll do 2 sets of 5 and one set of 3. And then if I'm doing 2 sets, I'll do 1 set of 5, 1 set of 3. So yeah, that typically tends to be how I do it. I like to make sure that I'm working in the lengthen, because you are going to get a lot of bang for your buck if prioritising working the muscle in the lengthen range. As a lot of people know now, call it the long leg partials, but it's essentially like putting a lot more pressure and a lot more strain on a certain area or certain muscle group in its lengthen position, where you are naturally going to be your strongest whilst you are going to be your weakest in a contracted position. So it makes sense to put more emphasis in the lengthened position rather than putting a lot of the emphasis in the contracted, which, to be honest, the only reason that I can see someone putting it on number 2 or number 4 is if they do or weak when it comes to locking off the machine or locking it out towards the top. That's the only fucking sort of reason I can see it being beneficial. Other than that, fucking pointless. If you're talking about muscle growth, I'd rather make it more challenging than lengthened. Anyway, let's get to this.
Because it slaps, fuck the raps. You can go on, that's your bro, we got attacked. Free the guys, I'm still living in the trench. They locked me up because I was shooting for the team. Call me Trent. And they've been out here for years.
Nothing to show.
And nothing is sweet until my brothers
we lost friends and we lost skanks. Anyway, that's typically my car routine. It depends on what the day is. Normally on legs, there's the odd occasion where I'll get in the car. And if you've done a fucking very intense leg session, generally on a diet, I'm not dieting right now, I'm full of food, but when it gets to the point that when I start prep, I guarantee, get in the car after a leg day, the music will be off, I will be silent, and I will be driving home in silence. In silence, every single leg day. And to be honest, when you get further into prep, every session will be the same. I'll get into my car, turn the engine on, no fucking music's on, I'll just go home, I'll eat. That's it. But when I'm eating as much food as I am now, yeah, regardless of how intense the session is, I'm probably going to still get in the car and put some music on. And yeah, that's. But anyway, in regards to the session was good. I obviously, towards the back end, me and Tash kind of went different ways in terms of the session. She did split squats, I did leg extensions, and then finished the session, put my stuff in the car, and then went back in. But yeah, so obviously I've had a little time to sort of recover and stuff like that. But generally, with the amount of food that I'm on right now, I typically feel fine anyway. I feel fine. But really good session. The only issue that I'm having at the minute is my knees, man. Like, I think it's annoying because I'm the strongest I've been. But at the same time, because of that strength, it's also affecting my joints. Most places now are fine. Elbows are fine. Wrists are fine. Shoulders, fine. My knees just ain't catching up. Everything else is fine now because I get regular sports massage work done. And if you are like Yorkshire based, you definitely want to go see R&R. My boy Jay in Bradford, or he's got a couple of branches in either Barnsley in Muscle Unit Gym or Rotherham, Ultraflex Rotherham. But yeah, I get regular tissue work done now every 4 to 6 weeks. That's pretty much what's probably got me to the place where I am now in terms of upper body feeling sound, with the fact that everything's progressing in an upwards trajectory in terms of like lifts, in terms of strength. But my legs, man, my knees, I've been getting up in the morning, every single morning, knees a little bit haggard, whether I've done legs the day before or not. I've got the massage going on my quads, on my calves, on my hamstrings, and I've had to like spend 5 or 10 minutes every single morning just getting them warm, just getting some blood to the area because they've felt shit, to be honest. They felt fucking shit. But yeah, can't be avoided. Like, it can't be avoided. I'm just going to make sure that I sort of auto-regulate how the sessions go. The last leg day that I did, we did the pendulum for 4 plates and I got 10 reps. Well, I counted 10, on the video I got 9. Swear to God I got 10, but clearly the video ain't gonna lie. So yeah, 9 reps on the 4 plates last time. Today just kept it at 3, just with how my knees were feeling. Like even with the knee sleeves on, like my legs and knees felt it. So 3 plates for 15. I'm fairly sure it was 15 anyway, but I'll watch it back when I go to edit the video. Yeah, got 15, I believe. And yeah, just it felt good, but I just felt my knees are a little sensitive, so I knew that I didn't want to go too much heavier. And then on the leg press, again, 6-7 plates aside normally I would be perfectly fine. This time just took it to 4, kept to 4. Even ankles in terms of mobility there didn't feel the greatest. So just overall, if I'm going to be honest about the session, it was good, but it wasn't at the same time. Like there were aspects of it where I felt really good, felt really strong, and I think that's going to be the case whatever session I go in, just because of the food that I'm eating. And I've not mentioned that in a minute. I've not mentioned that yet, but I will be talking about that later on, just in terms of food intake. But yeah, I feel like because of the food, sessions are going to be good regardless. Like I'm going to feel strong. I'm going to feel pumped. But in terms of like joints, you can't avoid joint pain. No matter how fucking thorough of a warm-up you do, like this, you should be able to mask it a little bit for a warm-up. But if there's going to be some sore joints, it's probably going to come back and bite you in the arse anyway. So this is where, like I said, deep tissue work comes in, stretching comes into play, also like managing and auto-regulating sessions to make sure that you know when to pull back. I think that's sometimes the issue with me, is I will want to keep progressing. Anyone who aims to bodybuild and aims to build muscle, we all have a bit of a toxic trait of always wanting more. The form of muscle building, or the way to build muscle, is through progressive overload. So what do we try and do? We try to progressively overload the muscle every single fucking time. Whether that be with the reps, but whether that be with a weight. But generally, if I'm feeling strong, I'm gonna try and do a little bit more weight. And sometimes comes to the detriment of my fucking joints. So I'm gonna make sure now, like even when I do feel like I'm in a position to lift more weight, if my joints are telling me no, strip the load back, focus on the amount of reps that I'm doing, and auto-regulate the session between the rep ranges. And that's one thing that I'm going to say as well. If you ever get a program, or if you ever get a plan and you're with a coach, or you decide to work with me one-to-one, because I've got spaces available right now, if you ever decide to work with a coach one-to-one and they set you a certain rep range, if, say for example, you're in more of a strength-based phase, and the goal is you might have a rep range of a top set of being 6 to 8, and you do a block of 4 weeks where you do a top set, which is 6 to 8, and then you do maybe 1 or 2 back offs, which is 10 to 12, 12, 15, okay? If you feel a little bit wrote off, so after 4 weeks of doing that, and that 6 to 8 is probably gonna go to shit because your joints are feeling it, strip the load back, adjust the rep range, sack off the top set, just do potentially 3 sets of a higher rep range. Like this top set and back off set approach is really good, and there is a reason why people do use it. It's utilising different loads at different rep ranges, but at the same time, you do also have to be fucking smart in a way by auto-regulating your session if you need to. And it's like understanding when to deload as well. And that's crucial, and I feel like a lot of people don't know when to. So if you're not familiar with a deload is either taking time away from the gym, or some people implement a devolume where they're going to be pulling back the amount of volume that they're doing in terms of total sets. But the intensity is still high. Me personally, I don't like a devolume. I'm going to be honest. I feel like I'm wasting my fucking time going to the gym and doing less sets. Even though you're not, you can still work with a high level of intensity. But the thing is, when I need a fucking deload, it's because I don't want to be in the gym in the first place. Like, I'm still progressing in the gym. I'm generally still feeling good. My joints might be a little bit sore, but the last thing I want to be, or the last place that I want to be, is in the gym. So I'm not going to go in and do a devolume because I want to do a deload. I need time away to get myself back in a position where I'm fucking itching to get in the gym. So for me, I like a deload. I prefer just taking time away from the gym. Generally anywhere between 4 and 7 days sits perfectly fine for me. But with the way things are going right now, probably going to be pushing until potentially just before prep. And then I feel like I might take a little bit of a deload just before prep starts, depending on how I'm feeling. And then, yeah, have a push all the way through prep, because I don't really want to deload through prep, if I'm honest. and I don't want to run myself into the ground leading up towards prep, get into prep, and then, like I said, have a week or 4 days, even 5 days. I don't want to have any time off during prep. I want to try and get through the whole prep with training sessions being at the forefront of my mind to maintain as fucking much muscle mass as possible. And if anything, as they say sometimes, growing to the show, that's what I want to do. So yeah, I'm going to make sure that just before prep starts, I'm going to take a bit of time away from the gym, potentially 4 days, a little bit of a reset. And yeah, just get myself in a position where I'm ready to push. Right now, routine's being managed. Training is going good. Training's more of a 2-day on, 1 day off sort of split. Food is in a really good place as well in terms of, I'm not going to say appetite because appetite's dying off. But in terms of like actual consistency with food choices, food sources, yeah, that's the best it's ever been. Like I'm not going to sit here and say that I've always had a perfect gaining phase. I'm not going to lie to you. My gaining phases in the past have just been, and if it fits your macros approach, but there might be 2 days in a week or 3 days in a week where I've fucking sacked it off and had a takeaway in the evening because I fancied it. And I've kind of used a gaining phase as an excuse to just get fucking fat and have what I want, but have some structure for the most part and then look to progress in the gym. Like, that's kind of how it's been. And you know what? If that floats your boat, crack on. Yeah, you're probably going to still gain weight, but you're also going to have a dodgy digestion. You're probably not going to perform as well in the gym. I don't necessarily not rate having maybe 2 off plans in a week. It's not like I'm against it. I do think it works, but I do also think the off plan that you have will dictate how you then feel. Off plans and highly processed foods, if you go for a takeaway, for example, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to perform at your best because it's full of calories. If it doesn't digest well, you're probably not going to fucking utilize it in the gym. So make sure when it comes to your gaining phases, when it comes to your bulks, I have seen the most success this time round, regardless of gear, irrespective of gear. I want to say this now. I have used gear and done gaining phases in the past, and I have got fat. I've got fat because I've just not taken it seriously. I've just gone to the gym, trained hard, followed a progressively overloaded in the gym. Yeah, that's all great and that, but if you've not got control of the amount of food that's going in your gob each week, you're just going to get a little bit sloppy and a little bit fat. Whilst this time round, I've pretty much kept the same foods in every day, okay? Apart from once in a week, I'd have a takeaway, or we'd go out for a Thai, or we'd go out for a Nando's, and I'd get a dessert as well. Like, that's it, once a week, and that's been a routine. Now, I know that's not going to work for everyone. I'm not naive. I understand people have got different scenarios, different circumstances, but that's when we've got to find what works for you. And for me, that's been the sweet spot, to maintain a good level of control, but also a little bit of a life as well. Whilst for other people, they might still want to go out on the weekend with the boys, or they might want to go for a couple of drinks. And again, that's perfectly fine. It's just making sure whatever you do on that particular day doesn't affect the following day. Because look, I've been a drinker. I've been someone that goes out on a weekend, Friday, Saturday, sometimes a fucking Sunday as well. And you just feel shit. That one, even if it's a one night out thing, if you go over the top, if you go out on a Friday, guarantee the Saturday and the Sunday you're going to be feeling a bit rough, and then Monday you're probably going to be feeling a bit rough. And I've noticed as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm not going to say I'm fucking ancient because I'm not, I'm only 26, but as I've gotten older, it hits me more. So you've got to realise that those drinks that you're having, you don't need to get fucking wasted. I realised that a long time ago. I used to get wasted because I weren't confident. It's as simple as that. I used to get blackout drunk because I was not confident. Fuck me, hurry up! Fucking learner drivers, man. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my head. Fucking move. Anyway, I've got majorly drunk in the past because I was masking how I felt. And I've talked about this like numerous times in captions on Instagram. I've never really done a reel or anything like that because reels, what a reel is short form, a reel is over exaggerated. You can't really be yourself on a reel. You can, but to an extent, you get 90 seconds to talk. Like, and the whole point of Instagram and reels is engage people, get them hooked in. So I've not really talked about it too much because realistically you can't. It's hard to do. So yeah, I've had to mask my confidence through drink before, and if I couldn't go out without a drink, it mainly was down to the fact that I didn't feel comfortable within myself, didn't feel comfortable with how I look. Now, when I go out, if I have a drink, it's because I want to. It's because I don't mind having a drink, but I don't need to get blackout drunk to have a good time. I'll have a couple of shots, I might have a few drinks, get a little bit wavy, and that's me done if I go out now. But generally, leading up towards this prep, I've done none of that. Because I wanted to maintain a routine and I wanted to make sure that anything like that was just, I didn't have the taste for it. I didn't have the taste for drinking, didn't have the taste for like takeaways and stuff like that, because I want to be in a position where I transition into prep and be ready to fucking go and ready to do it. And yeah, but anyway, bit of a tangent again. You'll notice I do that a lot when I do more of these videos. But in terms of like just drinking and alcohol in general, when you go out to have a drink, just realise or think to yourself, if you need to go over the fucking top with drink, if you want to do that, but you've got serious goals in mind, but you know it's going to affect the following days, you're the only one to blame. If you're being pressured into drinking so much and you're in a position where you're out with your friends and they're like, oh, what are you being boring for? Have a little bit more, have this, have that, have that. Just fucking say no. It's as simple as that. Just grow a set of bollocks and say no. Because you've got to realise, when you want to achieve big, and I had to realise this, when you want to achieve big in this life, sometimes you've got to say no. Sometimes, and by the way, I'm not no fucking guru. I'm not in a position that I want to be in yet. I've still got a long way to go, but I've realised I need to say no more. I need to be in a position where I look after myself a little bit more in terms of focus on my goal. What do I want to achieve? I want to be successful in this industry. I want to make a fucking impact in this industry. So what have I got to do? I've got to walk the walk on a daily basis. I've got to say no to certain things that don't impact me or don't benefit me. And if you want to achieve something big like a physical transformation, you've got to do the same. So make it apparent that you're doing something for you. And if they've got a problem with it, get a new bunch of fucking friends. And that is it, my people. That is going to be the YouTube video. That is going to be the YouTube video for the day. So we're going to call it there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed everything that we've done today. It's not like a full day of eating or anything like that. It's just a bit of a day in the life. Take you through the day. Take you through a couple of bits that we're doing, including the leg day. Just kind of a bit of a morning routine. The videos are going to become a little bit more structured as time goes on. But to be honest, who gives a fuck about having a structure anyway? There are going to be some days that I'm going to be getting up to a little bit more. There's going to be other days when I'm getting up to a little bit less. And today's just one of those days where it's just a bit more of a chilled day, just working, eating and training, and that typically is most days. Yeah, but that's the life of someone that's going to be stepping on stage soon. I'm not going to claim to be a bodybuilder because I'm just a fucking shit bodybuilder, to be honest. I enjoy the process for what it is. I love training, I love eating food, and I also love the process of fucking dieting down and actually being hungry. So yeah, but before we finish the video off, I did kind of say what I was going to do and what I was going to talk about, and that's like just talking about the food that I'm on right now. So roughly on a training day, we're looking at eating about 600 gram of carb, 215 gram of protein, or 200 to 215, and anywhere between 35 to 40 gram of fat. So fat's pretty low, fat's on the lower end, carbs probably the highest they've been. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's the easiest thing to do daily, because it ain't. I'm not the heaviest weight I've been, but it's because I'm keeping everything clean. Like I said in the car, like every bulk I've done in the past has just been take the piss a little bit if it fits macros and have a lot more flexibility. Not a bit more, a lot more flexibility. This time it's been more about like taking it easy, keeping food sources consistent, a lot of rice, not so much potatoes anymore because potatoes are filling as fuck. So rice, pasta's back in the mix now because pasta is a little bit easier to eat. Whole grain or normal, don't really matter which one, to be honest. They both digest really well. Bagels, Snacker Jacks, Squares bars. Eddie Abbey would fucking hate me. But it works, it gets the food in, it allows me to be able to eat a good amount of carbohydrates and it digests well. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. So yeah, at the moment, like that's where food is at. Things are all right. Like I said, it's not the easiest thing to do, to be honest. I'm not hitting the highest amount of food that I've ever eaten. It's just the cleanest I've ever ate this amount of food at so consistently. which is why it's just been a process of adapting to the amount of food and adapting to being able to do it, like do that consistently every single day and just eating less shit really. So yeah, but as a response from that, the response has been, I feel better generally, apart from like I could sleep at any point. Like literally I could lay down here right now and just fall asleep. My cardio, my fitness is really good because I've been keeping up my cardio, and that's again another thing that I've never done in the past. I've always just being so fucking hyper-focused on the scale weight going up that I forget about doing the one thing that's going to keep me responsive, and that's cardio. It's your heart health. It's making sure that you're fit and that can actually breathe. So I've been doing minimum 60 minutes a week, but I'm not going to lie to you, I've been doing a little bit more than what's on the plan. Sometimes I've been going in, and if I've got like little breaks in between one-to-one clients, then I'll do 15, 20 minutes here and there on the bike. Not high intensity, not like pushing to get the heart rate up, but I've been probably, if I'm doing 20 minutes, I've probably been at 130 to 150 beats per minute for 10 minutes because it's just been a steady ride. But yeah, just keeping that in because it's only going to regulate appetite, going to keep your appetite nice and high, and it has kept my appetite nice and high for the most part. My cardio, I'm the fittest I've felt at this body weight as well, considering I'm the heaviest or one of the heaviest weights I've been. Whenever I've touched this weight before, which at the moment I'm about 196 to 197 pounds, I've been unfit. Shin splints, can barely walk up a hill, out of breath walking up some stairs. I'm doing 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of the bike. I could even do 30 minutes of Stairmaster, no problem. So I think it's all just been a learning process, to be honest. And even for me, I've been doing it for a long time, not bodybuilding specifically, but like the process of bulking and cutting, and like we all go through these phases of trying certain things and seeing what works for us. And you'll get people like Sam Sulek who can bulk, and he's quite an influential person in this scene now, and he'll bulk on pretty much, he'll eat a lot of clean foods, but he will also have a lot more flexibility with things across the week as well in terms of the type of foods that he has. I've tried that in the past. I can't say that it's worked for me because it hasn't. It's when it just leads you to getting a bit carried away. And when you get carried away, you lose control and you lose track of your surplus. And then when you do that, well, that's when you put yourself into a heavy surplus, and that's when you just get fat and it becomes unproductive. So yeah, that is going to be the video for today. I just wanted to cover that towards the end and how my food is looking right now. There's a little bit of a difference between non-training days, but it's nothing major. About 550 carbs, so about 50 carb difference. So yeah, nothing crazy. But we've just got another 4 weeks of doing this. That's it. That's what I've got to remember. 4 weeks. 4 weeks of pushing. Pardon me. And then we're going to step into a prep. And that's when things, to be honest, don't get tough because I'm in a routine now anyway. So the only difference is I'll have 0 off-plan meals. That's it. Like, and again, that's the beauty that I want to cover in another video of having a good routine and structure. But we'll save that for next time. But if you've liked the video, drop the video a like, drop the channel, subscribe, and yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'll see you in the next one.